All right, welcome to yoga, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and get started by getting centered. So please sit nice and tall. Relax your shoulders down your back and allow the eyes to close. And just letting your awareness start to tune in to what's going on. Maybe noticing any fidgeting in the body, not judging it or even at this point trying to stop it, but just noticing those little tiny ticks, those twitches. And remind yourself that you can be still here if you so desire. And maybe that just invites in a bit of relaxation so that you don't have to move as much. Notice as well if it feels like there's some anxiousness or effort to your breath, and just see if you can relax that effort. Reminding yourself that the breath at its core is autonomic. You don't have to force it. It'll just happen on its own. It always has, it always will. And grounding into other awarenesses of your body here in the present moment. Your body points of contact that it makes with the floor. Noticing sensation in the body, any soreness or tightness, any relief and relaxation. Letting yourself be aware of the full spectrum of experiences in this body right here and right now. And then also notice what you've brought with you emotionally and psychologically, what emotions are present, what thoughts are present, residue from your day or anticipation for the future, worry, concern, exhaustion, letting all of those thoughts and feelings know that they're also welcome to be here with you in this present moment. And perhaps even through this practice, bring some relief to any parts of you that need relief. Good. And then taking a deeper, fuller breath, please bring your palms together. Lower the chin and just honor yourself again as you are in this moment, your body, your breath, your energetic state, your state of mind. Letting this practice we do here tonight be in service of all of that, in service of you. Rubbing the palms together. Take the heated palms over your eyes. Just brush over the top of your head and down your neck, bringing yourself back to the space around you. And we're going to begin on our backs tonight. So go ahead and move props off to the side and come to lay down. And taking your time with that transition. Well, once you do make it to the floor, come into bridge prep. Feet flat on the floor, heels about hip width apart. And look at the heels stacking underneath your knees, your arms by your sides. And we'll just start with some arm movements. We'll add the hips in just a little bit here. And so with your next inhale, go ahead and reach your arms toward the ceiling and all the way overhead. And then exhale, release your arms back down to your sides. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, arms lifting up and over. And exhale, bring them back down. Allowing the arms to lift, inhale. Allowing them to lower, exhale. Just a couple more times, just the arms. And with your next inhale, keep moving the arms, pick up the hips, reach the pelvis toward the ceiling, bridge pose. Exhale, release the arms and hips back down and keep going with this movement. Inhale, hips and arms lift. Exhale, they release down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, releasing. And let's do this for a few more rounds as well. Warming up the shoulders, the spine, the hips, and linking your breath and movement, helping to ground you even more right here in the present moment. And with your next inhale, lift up, arms overhead, and hold the pose. Squeezing the glutes to stay lifted, feet are flat on the floor here. And there's that slight back bend in the upper back as your chest comes closer to your chin. 3, 2, and 1. Release on down. Take an adjusting breath here. Feel sensation. Good. And then go ahead and hug your right knee into your chest and extend the left leg down to the floor. Great. Just feeling the stretch in the hip here for just a moment. And then hold behind the right thigh with both hands. And with your inhale, straighten the right leg toward the ceiling, pull the toes back. And then exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg toward the ceiling. And exhale, bend the knee. Please keep going on your breath. Really feeling the length in the back of that right leg. Relax your jaw. And then extend the leg toward the ceiling. Keep it extended. Reach through the heel. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Pull the toes back. Just a couple more breaths. Good. And then go ahead and bend the right knee into your chest and extend the leg down to the floor. Switching sides. Bring the left knee into your chest. Good. Just feeling the stretch here for just a moment. Good. And then hold behind the thigh with both hands. And inhale, extend the leg toward the ceiling, pull the toes back. And exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Keep going. Inhale, reach to the heel. Exhale, bring it back in. A few more times. And then as you extend the heel this time, go ahead and stay. Pulling the toes back, feeling the length in the back of this left leg, breathing with that sensation. Three, two, and one. Bend the left knee in and extend the leg down to the floor. Good. So doing a bit more work with your hips, I'm going to have you bring your feet flat to the floor again, prepping for bridge pose. And once you're there, keep the left foot where it's at and cross the right ankle center of your left thigh. All right, we're going to do half bridge here. So arms can stay down by your sides. Flex the right foot. With your inhale, lift the hips into the air. And exhale, come back down. Good. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, back down. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. A few more times. Excuse me. And then come into the pose and hold it. Lift the hips into the air, activating strongly through the left side and relaxing the right side a bit. Good. Deep breath in and exhale. Release the hips down with control. Keep the leg crossed right where it's at, and then pick up the left foot and bring the knee in toward your chest. Now, with your hands, you can hold behind the left thigh and draw the knee closer to the chest. Don't yank it in, just bring it to the point where you feel that stretch in the hip, the right hip in particular here, and just stay at that point and breathe at that point. Try to relax any gripping of your right glute. And keep the right foot flexed as well, protecting those joints. Three, two, and one. Carefully release the left foot back to the floor. And now you can uncross. Maybe even extending the right leg down for a moment if it's feeling kind of crampy. And then when you're ready, right foot flat on the floor, knee bending. Go ahead and cross the left ankle center of the right thigh and flex the foot. Arms by the sides will move in and out about 8 or 9 times. So with your inhale, lift the hips into the air and exhale, bring them back down. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Keep going. Inhale, exhale. Just a few more times. And as you press up this time, go ahead and stay, activating strongly through the right side and letting the left hip relax a bit more. Keep the foot flexed. And deep breath in. And exhale, release the hips on down. Good. And when you're ready, you're going to pick up the right foot and bring the right knee in towards your chest. You can hold behind the right thigh with both hands to help here. Just keep that left foot flexed. And just breathe at that point where you feel the stretch. Try not to clench your teeth here. And see if you can just relax some of the gripping in the left hip. Staying for just another couple of breaths. Deep breath in. And then exhale, carefully bring the right foot back to the floor and uncross the legs. Adjust as you need to here. And then from bridge prep, walk your feet away from your body about 6 more inches and take your feet as wide apart as your yoga mat. Your arms can just hang out to the side here. Good. Now keep the feet mat width apart the entire time. Knock the knees to the right. And then exhale, ground your lower back, bringing the hips and the knees back to center. And then inhale, knees to the left. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale to center. Inhale to the left. And just keep moving from side to side. Just loosening up the hips a bit more here. Also bringing a little bit of relief to the lower back and the iliopsoas muscle, that big wraparound muscle from your lower back forward around the body and into the groin. And why not? As you continue here, if you want to get the neck involved, you can just turn the chin away from the knees. Inhaling to a side, exhaling to center. Just a few more times. And the next time your knees come back to center from the left side, go ahead and hug them in. Good. And from here, we're going to come into happy baby pose. So you're going to reach up with your hands and hold on to the outsides or the pinky edge of your feet with the respective hand. Your knees are going wide of your arms. And then point the soles of the feet toward the ceiling. And then you're just gently pulling downward on the feet as if your knees are coming closer to the floor directionally. Now, when you do this, your lower back really pops up. Just try to ground that back down and just feel the stretch in the hips and some tractioning in the lower spine, which is also pretty good here. Now, as you're here, it's natural for the hips to want to tense up. Try to relax the thighs, relax the glutes. When you do so, you might find yourself just sinking a hair deeper into this pose. Good. Now we're going to do some work here. Keep your right foot where it's at if you can. Your left foot is going to come flat to the floor, or maybe even the leg extends all the way down, but one of those two. You're going to reach up with your left hands. With both hands, you're holding on to your right foot. Okay. You're going to draw the right foot across the body as if you're trying to bring the right foot closer to your left chest. Now keep the foot flexed. That's what's protecting the joints here, but it's tempting to let the foot drop down toward your groin. Try to keep it lifting over your chest as much as you can, even if it doesn't come down as far here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Relax the grip in the hips. This will all make sense later, I promise. We're building towards something. Good. Now, all right. You're going to carefully bring the foot to point toward the ceiling again and then release it. Extend it all the way down for a moment just to let blood flow and fluid just kind of come back down into the hip, into the leg. Feel sensation. Good. Now, just to make sure we're doing it the way we did it on the first side, we're going to come back into happy baby pose with both feet. So reach up and grab the outsides of your feet, knees going wide of the arms, soles of the feet pointing toward the ceiling, and knees drawing downward toward the floor. Good. Once you're established here, then you can let go of the right foot and bring it flat to the floor, or maybe extending it all the way down. Your right hand is going to reach up and hold on to your left foot with your left hand. And then keeping the foot flexed, draw the foot across the body toward the right side of your chest. And just, breathe for mercy. Whatever's here in the hip. Again, it's tempting for the heel to come down toward the groin. Keep it lifting over the chest. Relax the clenching in the hip. I know it's tempting to keep doing it, but just relax it. Almost there. Just a couple more breaths. Good. Point the foot toward the ceiling and then release it all the way down. Both legs can extend down now and just feel sensation. See, it tends to feel good when we're done. It's just when we're in it that it's, difficult. Good. From here, please roll over onto your belly. Just rolling on over. So we'll do a little bit of work here on the abdomen. So go ahead and slide your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows bending. We'll play around with the locust pose a little bit before we do some other work. So grounding the pelvis, inhale, lift the head, chest, and your legs off the floor. Then exhale, float back down. Inhale, float back up, head, chest, and legs, locust pose. And exhale, float back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And down one more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. Good. Coming up onto your elbows, Sphinx pose. Take the shoulders down the back, lift the chest, lift the belly as if you're extending it forward. Good. And then we'll do a quad stretch or tops of the thigh stretch here. So cross your right arm in front of you to keep the chest relatively lifted, and then bend the left foot, bring it, or left, sorry, the left knee, bend the left knee, bring the foot in towards your seat. Then reach back with the left hand and grab hold of the base of your toes. Once you do that, roll your left hip bone back down to the floor, and then guide the left heel in toward your seat. Good. Keeping the chest lifting as if you can here, and feeling that stretch in the top of the left thigh. Breathe. Just a couple more breaths here. And then don't slingshot it, but carefully release that left foot down to the floor. Good, and we'll do the other side. So crossing your left arm in front of you now. Bend your right knee, bringing the heel in. Reach back again, grab the base of the toes. Roll the right hip bone back down to the floor, and then guide the heel in toward your hip. And we're breathing on this side now. Just noticing if this side feels tighter or more open than the first side. Not making any meaning out of that. It doesn't mean one side is good or bad. Just one side is just tighter. Maybe you use the leg more. Keep the right hip grounding. Keep breathing. Good. Again, don't slingshot it, but carefully release that foot on down. Good. Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl the toes under. Push up to hands and knees, and then we're going to lift into downward facing dog. Good. Now it is the first down dog, so go ahead and walk it out. One heel to the floor, then the other. We did a little bit of work with the hamstrings already, but maybe there's more to explore here. You definitely want to be feeling some length in your spine, the hips reaching up and away from you, behind you, like toward the ceiling behind you. Good. And then from down dog, Walk your hands back, coming into the standing forward fold, and just hang over the legs for a moment. Knees are bending slightly here. Release the head, release the shoulders and arms. Good. And then go ahead and roll yourself all the way up to standing. Take your time with that. Good. So feel hydrated. So make sure you're drinking some water. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of work for the upper body now, and then we're going to come back and do some more work for the hips. So know that more is coming. um, yeah, looking at the time, we have plenty of time. So let's do some arm swings to get the neck and shoulder muscles nice and warmed up. Today we'll do the jab back version. So just a reminder, 3-part inhale through the nose, powerful exhale out of the mouth. Feet stacking underneath the hips. And when you're ready, inhale, reach up, exhale, reach back, inhale up, and then exhale, jab. Inhale, 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 exhale. Going for about 2 minutes, so find your rhythm here as you feel the full rotation of your shoulder joints. Allowing that exhale to clear out your respiratory system, clearing out the lungs, clearing out the throat. And even the nostrils are getting cleared out as you inhale. One more minute. And see if you can find a space in this exercise where the effort just evaporates. It's like the exercise is just doing itself, and you're the one who's observing it happen. And if you're not there yet, just keep practicing and it may arise. 3, 2, and 1, release. Good. Feel the tingling in the arms and the hands. The increased lung capacity. And then reach your hands behind your back, interlace the fingers. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift the arms off the back. Now gently bend your knees and then hinge at the hips and fold forward, taking the arms as far off the back as you can manage, feeling the shoulder blades work their way together and slip up toward your neck. Good. Staying in the forward fold, release the arms, hands toward the floor. And bend your knees until your fingertips touch the floor if they don't already. And then from here, you're just going to walk your fingertips to the right side of your right foot. Release the head. And think about straightening the left leg. Good. Then walk the hands back to center and just go to the left side of the left foot. Release the head when you get there. And think about straightening the right leg. It's like the right hip is trying to lift toward the ceiling. Good. Then walk the hands back to center. Pressing palms to shins, come halfway up, inhale. And then exhale, fold down. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, strong back, come all the way up to standing. And then release your arms on down. Good. All right, a little bit of work for the neck here. Just let your arms hang down heavy. Actually, I changed my mind. Your arms are still going to hang down heavy, but we're going to do a different exercise than I was planning on before. So having especially your left shoulder drop down, reach up with your right arm and bring your right hand to the left side of your head. Now, what we're going to be doing is a neck pull here, and you're only putting about 5 pounds of pressure into the head. You're not yanking the head out of the neck. All right. It can be tempting here. It's like better stretch. It's like, no, just let it be gentle. Just drop the right ear to the right shoulder, left hand on the right hand on the left side of the head, and just give a gentle, gentle, gentle pull. Good. Then release, bring the head up. See, that was enough. And then we'll do the other side. So, fixing this. You're going to bring your left hand up and over to the right side of your face and drop the left ear to the left shoulder. And just again, about 5 pounds of pressure. The right shoulder is dropping down. And you're breathing. And then release the hand and release the head, coming back. Okay, so for the sake of time, we're going to come back down to the floor here in a moment because today we're going to be practicing pigeon pose, which is kind of an intense hip stretch. And so I want to give you some variations just in case you need it. Something to note as we head into that, if you have a yoga block today, have that on hand. If you don't have that, you can use a folded blanket, or at the end of the day, if you don't have anything, you can just make do, only going as far as you can safely, okay? So let's just come back to the floor to start. So just fold forward. You know, I like my transitions. And from the forward fold, step into downward facing dog. And then float down onto hands and knees, release the feet, exhale, our first child's pose of the night. Good. All right. Go ahead and roll yourself up to a seat. Just walk the hands back and I'll demonstrate pigeon pose. So the way that we'll get into it today is from hands and knees. And so we'll step a foot forward. We know this is our lunge pose. And with the hands on the floor, you're going to shimmy your right foot over to the left side of your yoga mat, like so, okay? And then you're going to attempt to lay down your shin on the floor. Now, my shin is parallel to the top of my mat. I've been doing this for years. You might not be able to do that. So what you would do instead is just bring the heel back a few inches. Now, you don't want to bring it so back that you come out of the pose. So I've seen people do it where this is all the way in the groin, the foot's all the way back. This isn't a stretch. You're not doing anything here. You want to keep the foot guiding toward the top of your mat as far as you can without it being excruciating. This is not the most comfortable of poses sometimes, okay? So once you've put the foot into position, you'll have your hands probably in front of the leg or on the sides of the leg. I'm gonna pick up my back knee now and take my heel back or my knee back even further so my hips sink down toward the floor. And then I'll powerfully lift the heart here. Okay, so this is pigeon pose. If you have a block nearby, you can use it to support you either under your hands or also under your hips. I'm changing angles here just so you can see it. So if you come in and your hip is still sitting way high here, what you could do is bring a block and scooch it underneath the hip for some stability. Now this is actually way, way too high for me. You could also use a blanket underneath the hip to support. You could also use a jacket or something or anything that could help underneath that hip. Good. So I'll walk you through it. If you're there already, just stay there. But if you need some assistance, I'll guide you. So go ahead and step your right foot between your hands. Good. And then walk again your right foot to the left side of your yoga mat. It's okay to start with it a bit further back if you know you're going to need that. And then lay down the shin about parallel-ish to the top of your mat. Now, before you get too crazy here, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, and take the foot back even further. Now, when I'm teaching this to beginners, I like to keep the back foot curled under, the toes curled under, because it keeps the hips squared. I find that when people release the foot, they fall, and we don't want to fall. We want to try to keep it engaged. Good, good. All right, bring some support underneath the right hip if you need to. Try to lift the chest as much as you can. If you fold forward here, like right away, again, you come out of the pose sometimes, so keep the chest lifting. Pigeon pose, nice deep, deep hip stretch here. Don't forget about that breath. And we don't rush the hips, so we're gonna be here for a little while. Just 30 or 40 minutes, that's all. Kidding, of course. No, but maybe about a total of a minute and a half tonight. Now at this point of working with the hips, it's good to get curious about your experience, lest you get lost in it. Because if you're just like, this is really uncomfortable, this is really uncomfortable, it's just gonna be uncomfortable. Instead, if you adopt a mindset of curiosity, you can be with the discomfort, but you're not ruled by it. And so curiosity in this way allows me to really witness my experience more objectively. So there's intense sensation, but it kind of comes in waves. It's like it's a moment of intensity and then it kind of backs off a little bit. And then it comes back on, then it backs off a little bit. And that's just my experience. Yours might be completely different here. You might even feel that after about a minute or so in this pose that the hips start to relax. The hips are dropping down further than they did at the beginning. And if not, that's okay. Just keep practicing. Keep breathing. And just a few more breaths on this side. Good. Now to come out of the pose, back toes curled under, you're going to pick up the back knee and bring it really far forward, maybe even a couple of times. So you have plenty of clearance to bring the right leg back. And be gentle. And at this point, it's kind of dealer's choice, or I guess player's choice. You can do whatever you need to adjust here. You can sway in the hips. You can do a child's pose. Some folks like down dog after pigeon. Just adjust. And yes, we do have to do the other side. And it'll be a completely different experience because there are asymmetries in the way that we hold tension in the body. So if you're still adjusting, keep adjusting. If you're ready to move along, I'll go ahead and guide you now. So from hands and knees, bringing the left foot forward. Good. And then shimmy the left foot to the right side of your yoga mat. And just go ahead and lay the shin on down as parallel-ish to the front of your mat as you can get it. And of course, that's relative. Curling the back toes under, pick up the back knee, and take the back knee back even further. And again, I like to keep the back toes curled under here to keep the hips square so you don't fall out of the pose. You can slide support underneath the hip if you'd like to. And then think about lifting the heart. You already know we're going to be here for a bit, so let's breathe. Yes, it can be uncomfortable. Well, that's not a reason to necessarily run from it. We can be with it. We can breathe with it. We can get curious about it. What is my experience, especially on the second side? How is it the same? How is it different from the first side? Do the hips release more after a while? Is it active clenching? Can you release any clenching? Maybe about 15 more seconds. We're almost there. Again, lift the heart. Good. And then to come out, curling the back toes under, bring that back knee nice and far forward so you have plenty of clearance to bring the left leg out. And then adjust however you need to here. And once you're done adjusting, you can land in child's pose. And in child's pose, or from child's pose, we'll practice rabbit pose. So in child's pose, release your forearms to the ground and bring the top of your forehead or hairline to the floor. Good. Now keep the head on the floor the entire time. With your inhale, lift the hips and rock to the top of your head. And then exhale, release the hips coming back down. Only go as far as the top of your head here. Inhale, rock forward. And exhale, release back. Keep going. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, release back. Massaging the top of the head into the floor, helping to release tension at the back of the neck. This also has a really grounding effect to it. And then with your next inhale, rocking to the top of the head and staying here. And then release to child's pose. And then from child's pose, go ahead and slither down onto your abdomen. And on your abdomen, we're going to come into crocodile pose, one of our restorative postures. So take the feet as wide apart as your yoga mat and allow the inside arches to rest against the floor. This opens up the hips and the pelvis. Good. And then you're going to cross your arms in front of you and have the elbows maybe just a few inches forward of the shoulders so that the chest lifts off the ground when you bring your forehead down. So it's not a face plant. The chest is not on the floor. The arms are set back a bit. All right. And the forehead resting on the back of the hands or arms. And so find a relative place of comfort here in this pose. And I want you to be aware of the hips spreading into the floor. We've done a lot of work with the hips tonight, so this is an opportunity to bring them some nourishment. And we can do that through the breath. So with your inhale, feel the belly expand, but also feel it expand downward towards your pelvis. Low into the body, and then exhale, feel it release. And allow that to be your breathing rhythm here, is breathing low, low into the pelvis on inhale, and feeling all that tension just release with your exhale. Breathing low into the abdomen. All right. Letting the breath creep back up into your chest a bit. And go ahead and bring the feet closer together, lifting the head, sliding the arms back. And from here, we're going to roll over onto the back. Take your time with that, just a roll and scooch, or roll and flop. And just a couple more postures before Shavasana, or resting posture. So go ahead and bring the knees into your chest. And take the arms out to the side, making that T shape with your body. And with an exhale, go ahead and drop the knees to the right. Feel your left arm and shoulder ground behind you, maybe even turning your chin to the left. And the right hand, if you want to, can rest on top of the left thigh. Not forcing the twist, but just helping that legs to stay there. then taking a deeper breath here, go ahead and bring the knees back to center. And when you're ready, allow the knees to fall to the left. And feel your right arm and shoulder ground behind you. Turning the chin to the right if you'd like. And that left hand can rest on top of the right thigh if that feels good. And just breathe. Aware of the inhale and aware of the exhale. And then taking a deeper, fuller breath from here. Go ahead and bring the knees back to center. Hug them in. And now once you feel complete here, go ahead and extend your legs down to the floor. And make yourself ready to rest here on your back for a few minutes. Have the heels about mat width apart, the toes falling out to the sides, letting the hips just spread open. Your arms are resting down by your hips, palms face up, allowing your shoulders to relax. Allow there to be some space between the rows of your teeth. Feel your tongue release away from the roof of your mouth. Relax the eyes, relax your forehead, and anywhere else in your body that you're feeling yourself tensing up. Just see if you can relax that effort, relax that tension. I want you to try to let go of effort here. Effort in your breath. Relax the inhale and exhale. Again, the breath can simply be autonomic. You don't have to force it. It'll be there to catch you if you let go of it. And anytime you feel that effort return, like a fist ungrasping, let it go. peace, peace, peace. Feeling yourself rest here. Remind yourself that if you need more of this effortlessness, this restfulness, that you can always come back to this state. You can always lay down and let go. But for now, please begin to take a deeper, fuller breath, creating gentle movements in the hands and feet, arms and legs. And feel yourself roll to your right side, eventually transitioning to a comfortable seat. And once you've made it to a seat, go ahead and bring your palms together and lower the chin. And honor yourself for the work you've done here tonight, feeling gratitude for all of that effort, especially when things got hard, staying in the pose if you were able to. And may all of that effort and this practice continue to serve you. So until next time, namaste.